let me not mess up. But.
Oh yeah, we should tell everybody who you are. I'm here with Jess Mahogany, who has a show at the Little Carver on April 22nd.
Yes.
You want to tell everybody a little bit about what that's going to be like? Obviously, you were name dropping all of the crazy people here who are going to be a part of it, but tell everybody what it's going to be like, what they're coming for.
It's gonna be I'm a poet, I'm a spoken word artist, and I'm an actress, and so I got the opportunity to do both, to bring both to the stage. So I get to now bring some of my pieces to life, kind of give a little bit of the background to some of the origination of some of the pieces and tell a little story about them. And the whole show is pretty much kind of like what goes on inwardly with me and my inner self, right? Because I think we all kind of have an inner self, a spiritual self, or whatever. And so it's kind of the perspective of, you know, what goes on the inside and how some of these poems come to be. And it's also based on a lot of the poems. So everything that will be displayed or showed in the show is from the book Conversation Pieces.
Show it. Is it there?
So, yes. It will hopefully be ready. This is my sample copy. I will have to give you one.
Yes,
so you
please.
Can have. But I'm ordering the rest of them, so they'll be in and they'll be ready. And so the show is also divided into the 5 pieces, the 5 sections that my book are. So it's about spark, love, boss, trauma, and soul. And so I'm revealing some of the poems from each of those sections and bringing them to life.
So this is a show you created. This is why you were saying before we started filming that you're already crying during the rehearsals because it's so personal. Yeah. What's that been like?
Oh gosh, it's so hard. It's hard to even rehearse with people around me because yes, it's my spoken word and my poetry, and I perform sometimes, but I'm mostly a performer with the acting. And so when it comes to things like featuring or slams, I don't really do a lot of that in the spoken word. I'll go around and, you know, do a lot of open mics, but recently I've been doing a lot more of it. And so Ernie, you know, gave me a call and was like, someone name dropped again. And I was like, I'll take it. Yes, absolutely. So let's put together a show. But then actually having people sit and learn, you know, where it comes from and how personal it is, and being in rehearsals and trusting some people to take over my words, right? And to convey them as they have to do, trusting some people to sing, like Nero's going to be singing one of the ending pieces, actually the title piece. She's an anthem, and she's going to be in that one with me. And when I hear her take over some of the words, she just had me bawling out. And I know you all probably are familiar with Nero Williams. So just has me bawling out. And so it's really humbling, but it's also exciting and it's validating. It really is validating. I will say that. So I'm like, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Were you the one that had to make the phone calls to ask them to be a part of the show?
I did. I had to ask everyone. I had to ask, you know, Andrew Jacoby, you all probably know his name as well. I had to ask him to be my stage manager and director, and then just to ask other people to take part in it, to some of the musicians that I'm gonna have that are gonna be there. And it's like, I need you all to trust me, right? And trust the work, and that I'm gonna carry it with my words. I'm happy to have someone here who can vouch for that. So yeah, it's been great. It's been great to see the support though that they have and showing up for me week after week while we're in rehearsals and things like that. I just love it.
I'm so excited. It's April 22nd at the Little Carver. Where can people get tickets?
You can get tickets on my website. So you can go to jessmahogany.com, www.jessmahogany.com. It's the first thing that you'll see on the page. So it's the first line. It says She's an Anthem, a conversation piece. Click here to get your tickets. So it's the first line. Yeah, and you want to start because it is part of their intimate series. So seating will be limited, and I am expecting to sell out. I got my family coming from out of town. I got a few people actually flying in. So I'm extremely humbled, right, from this whole experience, this whole ordeal, from the very first phone call to now. I am tripping out still.
Yeah, and I was looking when I was reading your bio and stuff. You're an ATAC award winner.
Come on, for the Mountaintop, which was the first theatrical play that I jumped on when I came to San Antonio. Wow. And I wasn't even supposed to take that role. And it's still one of my favorite roles to this day. And that was a 2-person play. So just me and Kevin the whole way. So that was another piece where there was a lot of dialogue to learn. But it was so fun to do the Mountaintop by Katori Hall. It was like so impactful. But yeah, then I got best lead drama and a drama. So I was like, Very touched.
I'll take that.
I'll
right?
take it. I'll take it. Yes, it is still up on a little platform in my closet. So
I was a theater major in college, and the reason why I didn't pursue that was that exact reason. Was two people like, I'm responsible for not screwing this thing up. No, thank you. Like, there's no way. I'm better at this, where I'm just like talking randomly, and if I screw up, it doesn't matter.
Because no one knows. But no one knows if you screw up on stage either, if you handle it
That's
well. That's
true.
where the expertise comes
That's
in.
true. I would probably like freeze and then probably swear and be like no.
What's my line?
Yes.
On stage.
Yes, I would need teleprompters on both sides. That's how it would have to be. And then you just had a movie come out in December.
Yes, Ebony Hustle. And actually we're shooting an Ebony Hustle 2. So we'll actually be filming that May or June, sometime soon as well this year. So again, these things are coming out. I can't say exactly when I'm going to be in the studio, but I've already gotten the script. I've already read over the whole thing and given them some notes. So we're coming back with that. But Ebony Hustle is already out. I think it's on Tubi and other, platforms of that nature. Forgive me, I don't always remember the names of
We'll look it up and we'll put it on the notes.
But it's definitely on Tubi and it is free to watch. So check it out.
What does it feel like to be you right now?
So I tell people that in the past, I never knew when I was in a moment of transition or change or coming into the fruition of things that or manifesting things, right? I never knew, but now I feel it. I'm like, oh, this is what it's like. I feel this moment and this change and this shift and all of the ups and downs and the scariness. But I'm like, oh, so in 5 years, I'm going to look back and be like, this is the moment, right? Because usually I never know. It's like 5 years, I realize, and I'm like, oh, that's what was happening. This time in 5 years, I'll be like, that was the moment. I knew what was going on. I felt it. And so I can't call everything, but it's again, it's a really good experience, but it's scary too. It's scary because I'm doing what people say, jumping, and taking a lot of risk in my life right now. And when I tell you that is the most unnerving thing, but it's also like a part of me is also saying, but do it, go, it's okay, right? So I think you get those moments and those feelings and those inklings that now is the time to jump. And even though you don't know what's happening, you still kind of feel like there's a parachute somewhere. You don't, I don't feel it on me, but I feel like
someone's going to give you one at some point.
Something's going to happen. I don't even know when or what. And it's last minute. So I'm learning to do a lot of things. I'm learning to value myself throughout this whole process and the work that I put out and the work that I've done and put into everything. I'm learning to kind of listen and be still and accept, what's coming and what's happening and the love that I get. And again, do people want to see this? Yes. So I'm learning to be vulnerable, and that is hard for an introverted person. The talent, I don't doubt my talent. I just am not. I haven't been a spotlight person, right? And it's so weird because I love theater and I love acting, but once I do that and get off the stage or get from behind the camera, then I'm just like this regular person.
If you want to go home and you want to take a nap, that's what I do.
I'm cool in the corner watching and observing. I'm good. You know?
What's your advice to people, to artists who are like starting out or in situations like that? Because I feel like you're handling it so well and you're so smart about like accepting it and not fighting it.
Really, it's that just kind of being willing to be vulnerable and understanding too that there's a reason that you have that craft. There's a reason that you have that gift. There's a reason that this information has been downloaded into you, from you, or through you. It's not a whim. It's not happenstance. If it wasn't meant, you probably wouldn't be thinking it, right? There's things that's going on in this world that I'm just not thinking about doing at all. I probably would never think about it, and someone will mention it, and I'll be like, oh, I never even knew that was a thing, right? And that happens all the time because as a therapist, I get to hear stories about people who do all kinds of things. And so I'm always learning, but there's a reason for our gifts. There was a reason that I've always, been in tune with writing. And so you can't really be selfish and hold a lot of that in, especially when, again, one of the things about me and my work is that I believe it's all about healing. It's all about triumph. No matter what I am speaking about, there's an element of triumph in everything. There's an element of healing. And so I think that we owe that to help other people in that way by sharing our art. So we want to hear it. We need it, right? A world without art is just, what is that anyway? We don't even know.
I think there was a quote that's like, earth without art is just Because you take the art out of the word earth and it's left with And I feel like that's so true.
I like that.
It's so true. Because even even if you're doing a show and there's one person in the audience who's connecting, or one person in the audience who's watching, you're like, oh, they needed to see that.
Yeah.
That's what I always think.
And they came and they showed up. I'm learning that too, because again, I'm not huge on social media right now. I'm learning, but I'm also learning that it's not even about those numbers and things like that. There are still people, whether it's 100 to 20, that said, I'm showing up for you. So why would you not, respond to those people? And so I have to remember that in everything that I am doing as well too.
Well, I did see that you posted that you were coming on this show about an hour ago. So that's your start to a good social media.
I took a picture in the car. I was like, oh, this is how they do it. They because I'm in the moment, right?
This is how the kids are doing it.
I'm always in the moment. I'm like, I didn't think about it. I was out the whole day, cute and everything. I just didn't think about taking a picture. I'm trying to remember. And I actually made a TikTok. I didn't post it, but I was playing with the filters and I was like, oh, this looks like my face is done. And I was like, oh, this is what y'all are doing. Because I never
cheating is what they're doing.
And I was like, you all say it, but it just didn't click. It was not registering to me that y'all are just using filters and going on about your day. Okay, I don't have to put on makeup. Okay. All right.
We'll put filters on this too, so we can look better, I promise. I don't want to put you on the spot, although I did bring it up before when we were chatting and getting ready for this. Would you maybe perform something or read something from your book for everyone?
Yeah, I could do a little snippet. I'll do a snippet because you got to come see the rest.
Yes, of course. And then you pay and then let's go see her.
And they're only $25. And I do say that because it's more than that. Promise you. We're putting in some work, okay? But only $25. So I'll give a snippet. So the show is called She's an Anthem, a conversation piece. One of my poems is called She's an Anthem, and my book is called Conversation Pieces. So there's the title, She's an Anthem, which is a conversation piece. But I'm gonna give a snippet of Conversation Pieces, which is also one of the titles of my poem. So it's also the book title and a piece title, because that's how the artists do it, right? Let's see. These are the accumulations of group therapies, with each individual trauma still feeling heavier than the sum. So I won't be cutting stories short for the chance at a slam, because it's hard to say which sentence the two had the most impact on their souls. So I said, why take it apart for you when people are healing from the whole? These are for feeling, for seeing, releasing, believing, for aspiration, education, for ascending your being, baby. These are written by a 5'8" double chocolate Black woman with footprints trekking the nation. So to put it simply, you got to come see the rest. 4/22/22 at the Little Carver. And that full piece will be performed.
That's the perfect way to end this. Jess, I can't thank you enough for coming and talking to me today.
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting. I'm excited. And thank you for being here. Thank you both for being here.
We have an audience today, which
excited.
is always exciting. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the 22nd of April.
Absolutely.